All right, Eagle fans, we're joined here with baseball head coach Chris Shores on season home opener for the Eagles as they open up today. Both not only home opener, but the WIAC opener as they host UW Platteville today at 1 o'clock. Doubleheader today, doubleheader tomorrow against Platteville as well, starting at noon tomorrow. Both days will be at Copeland Park. Coach, first of all, let's just talk. We're 11 games in, 8-3 overall. Took a spring break trip to Florida, played 8 games out in Florida, and then another 3 games this past weekend down at WashU. Just talk a little bit about those first 11 games.
Yeah, so far, so good. Obviously, the record is okay, and always want to win those other 3 games that we didn't win. But I think we've learned a lot over the course of these 11 games and played a really tough schedule. Some really good teams from out east, and then going down to WashU was no easy task. And really fortunate to come out with all 3 of those wins. They're a good team and a good program. So I think playing some really good competition thus far. Our numbers overall aren't exactly what we'd like them to be, but still finding out who we are as a team. Every year has a different personality, and this team is, even though there's a lot of returners, we're still trying to kind of find out exactly who we are, and haven't been pitching all that great, so we're hoping to turn that around today and this weekend. But I think we've learned a lot about our team thus far, and we've learned that there's a lot of growth that can happen, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, roster top to bottom, a lot of returners from last year's program. But, from top to bottom offensively, you got names like Mac Bourne, Jack Oliver, Anthony Vivian, the guys like that are kind of are obviously returners for you guys. But offensively, like you mentioned, the numbers maybe not exactly what you are, but have been scoring a lot of runs.
Yeah, we have been scoring a lot of runs, and the irony would be that we kind of feel like we're not clicking on all cylinders offensively. There's, we're always wanting a little bit more, and I mean it's about having good at bats, and we've been stringing some good at bats together, and then at times maybe not as much as we'd like. But like the names you mentioned, obviously, the addition of Nate Whitty. I mean, that name is going to keep coming up. He's not happy not fighting for being the best player on our team. I don't know. I said that incorrectly, but you know what I mean. Like he's a competitor, and he's going to fight with those guys to get some of those accolades at the end of the year and stuff. And he's a good teammate and a good player and a good addition to what we've been doing. But I think we'll start to kind of click a little bit better as the season goes along offensively, and there's such high expectations offensively, especially that sometimes that becomes a little bit difficult when we do achieve success. I think we need to celebrate those successes even if they're small, and then really just trying for that perfect game. By that I mean pitching, defense, and offense happening all at the same time. We've been picking it pretty good on D. And hitting okay. We just got to pitch a little bit better and put all 3 together.
Yeah. So we go into the WIC again. Start conference play today. Again, 3 to 4 teams right there in the thick of the top 25 early preseason poll. In terms of you guys being right now currently number 9. Whitewater's in there. I believe Stevens Point's in there as well. But then you got Oshkosh, who's always a contender. And you can't look over anybody in the WIC, really, to be honest. And so, as you start that WIC season, can you just talk a little bit about the WIC?
Yeah, top to bottom, any given day. And I think the hardest part about what we do in the WIAC is the 4 9-inning games, every weekend or every series, and that's unique across the country. There are a couple other places that'll play 9-inning doubleheaders, but they don't do back-to-back days and play four in 2 days, and that causes some challenges for everybody a little bit, and usually on the pitching side of things, but also just on the fatigue side of things. So every single weekend, every single series is challenging. We see Platteville today, and they don't have as strong of a record as maybe some of those other teams, but they're going to come out with fire today because it's a conference opener, and we've seen over the years that anything can happen on any given day. You're right. The top of the league is strong. Point was in the rankings. I think they're out now, still receiving votes. Oshkosh is receiving some votes. Whitewater and us are in their summer with numbers in front of our names, and ultimately those are cool things, and that's great. But in the end, we got to go toe the line when we see those teams and win some of those games. And I promise Stevens Point is going to be ready for us. I promise Oshkosh is going to be ready for us, and they're going to be ready for each other. So it's just a grind. It's a fight. I think we're one of the best Division III conferences in the country, and we kind of prove that year in, year out, especially in the postseason. And now starts a new chapter in our season, playing conference games, and that's always plan A. Plan A is always to win the league and win the regular season and go into the conference tournament, as the 1 seed and host, and that starts today with 2 games.
Yeah, I get it. Every coach wants to say we don't care about last year. It's this year we care about. But last year's team finished runner-up in the regular season, won the conference tournaments, and then advanced to the NCAA College World Series. A lot of guys, like we mentioned, back from that team. Not that we're looking back to last year, but what is that? What has kind of been that message to the team this year of what you can take from last year into this season?
I think the most important thing that we're drawing on is that experience, and we lose a game here or there, and there's no freak out moments. The experienced players on the team are just kind of maybe frustrated with the loss, of course, but able to regroup the entire team and kind of get us back on track. In fact, one of our team goals set by the players this year is to reset after every single game. Win or loss, doesn't matter. Just complete reset after every game. And to their credit, they kind of acknowledged that there were some game 2s of doubleheaders last year where we lacked some energy and some attitude, and so there's a direct focus on that. So I think that's what we're drawing from most from last year's group. Clearly, performance. I think we saw some performance ups and downs already this year, and honestly, that's a good thing that we've kind of looked at some of those expectations, had those conversations about expectations, and whether it's real pressure or perceived pressure, and they're responding really well to some minor adversity already this year, and I think that's due to that experience.
Yeah. Well, Eagle fans, again, a reminder today, come on out to Copeland Park, 1 o'clock doubleheader against Platteville. Otherwise, tomorrow, noon starts, doubleheader against Platteville. And again, Coach, good luck on your season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.